Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football mock draft. Today's video is a 16 or a 10-team PPR draft from the sixth slot for Mr. Mateo. The only difference between this and a normal league is that instead of having just one flex, there is two. Now, pretty much your draft strategy should be pretty similar. The only difference is you're going to be starting one of the players that's typically on your bench in your flex. So, like I said, it's a 10-team PPR mock draft from the sixth slot. Before I start the video, I'd like to ask you guys, please go down below and click that subscribe button. When you do that, it pretty much guarantees that you're going to win your championship because you're going to be getting all the videos to help you do that, from dominating during the draft to dominating during the regular season and then dominating the postseason. I'm going to help you guys do all of that. So let's get right into the video. So, the first pick of the draft was David Johnson, followed by Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott, and now we are at the sixth spot. So, in my opinion, this is the easiest pick to make right here at the sixth slot. It is easily in a 10-team league when I know I'm going to be able to get a lot of running back depth, because it's a 10-team league, not 12 or 14, where it's typically harder to get running back depth. I'm just going to load up on get the top wide receiver in fantasy football. In my opinion, it's either DeAndre Hopkins or Davante Adams. In my opinion, I like Davante Adams slightly more. In my opinion, he's on a better offense. He may not be getting as many passes thrown his way, but Rodgers loves throwing him the ball. He said he would throw it to him more than last year, and he threw it to him a lot last year. Davante Adams was very, very consistent every single week, being a top running back, not a top running back, a top wide receiver, obviously, because he plays wide receiver, and he was pretty great, so I like him here at the sixth slot. After when Davante Adams, DeAndre Hopkins went, followed by Le'Veon Bell, James Conner, Tyreek Hill, Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, Dalvin Cook, Odell Beckham Jr. So typically towards the back of the draft is where you're going to see people go for this double wide out strategy. This guy went DeAndre Hopkins, Odell Beckham. This person went Tyreek Hill, Michael Thomas. Now, that since this is a PPR league and you're starting two flexes, you could go with the instant four wide receiver strategy, which could pay off because you have such great wide receivers in the first four rounds. But in my opinion, I still think you need to get one of those elite running backs to carry you to the championship. And in my opinion, the way to doing that is by getting a top 10 guy in either the first or second round. I feel like you have to do that in these type of leagues. Unless it's a three wide receiver league, then maybe I would think about going double wide receiver. But at the exact same time, I would never do that personally. So the best running back available is not Gurley. Gurley is dealing with that injury now. If Gurley somehow is perfectly fine and his knee somehow just stops having arthritis, then obviously he's going to be a great pick. But I'd rather go Joe Mixon. I think he's a lot safer. Some people tell me, oh, Joe Mixon's not that safe. He's on a shit team. I'm worried about that. It doesn't matter. He was on a shit team last year. He's on a shit team this year. A team that's probably slightly better due to the fact that they got rid of Lewis, their coach, and now they have a new coach in Zach Taylor, who should be a lot better than him. So we're going to go Joe Mixon. After we went Joe Mixon, Juju Smith-Schuster went, followed by Todd Gurley, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Travis Kelce, Keenan Allen, Damian Williams, Melvin Gordon, T.Y. Hilton, Adam Thielen, and now it is our pick. So right here we're going to talk about Damian Williams right now, because I told someone DM me about Damian Williams and I said that I would talk about them. So Damian Williams right now, it came out that they're going to run a committee system on the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to go with the committee. They're not going to go with the fact that Damian Williams is the number one like we previously thought. So I'm kind of straying away from Damian Williams. I don't necessarily love picking him in the second round like I used to love taking him there, because he seemed like he would be great. Any Kansas City running back could be great. But I still think he will obviously have value, because I think he will emerge as the running back one, like I believed he would at the beginning of the season. But I think that obviously there's a lot more risk now that they're doing running back by committee, so I'm not going to pull the trigger in the second round. What I think about it in the fourth round, yes, for sure I'd pick him in the fourth round. But right now, not a second round pick for me. So at the 3-6, we have some pretty good running backs still available. Nick Chubb, Kerryon Johnson. But in my opinion, Chubb stands above all. Nick Chubb looks to be the top 10 running back this year in fantasy. He could be, and I think he will be. Nick Chubb is very fucking good. They sent Duke Johnson packing to the Texans. Nick Chubb is going to be a 3-down back until Kareem Hunt comes back. Obviously, when Kareem Hunt comes back, some of his production will be eaten into. But how much will it be eaten into will be based upon how well Nick Chubb does. If Nick Chubb plays like absolute shit the first 8 weeks of the season, then obviously Mr. Kickin' Kareem Hunt will come in and probably take a lot of his snaps. But if Nick Chubb ends up playing great, then why would they not just run the hot hand with Nick Chubb? So we're going to stick with Nick Chubb here, because I think that's what's going to happen. After we Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones came out the board, followed by Marlon Mack, Zach Ertz, Pat Mahomes, Kerryon Johnson, Amari Cooper, George Kittle, me Timbers, Leonard Fournette. So 1, 2, 3 tight ends already gone. Typically, Kelsey goes in the first 2 rounds, and then Ertz and George Kittle typically go in the third or fourth round. First quarterback off the board was Pat Mahomes at the 310. Now, in your at-home league, he may end up going the first 2 rounds because some people love going quarterback early, and that is entirely possible. So now we are looking, and the running backs are still pretty solid. And we are going to the, which is okay because we're not going to just need to go running back here because we can go for a good one in the 5th round. So we're going to go with the best wideout available, and that, in my opinion, is Stefon Diggs. I really like Stefon Diggs this year because I think that he will be better than Thielen. Now, Thielen at the beginning of last year was playing great for those first 10 games. He was absolutely eating. Now, I like Thielen or Diggs, but I think that Diggs going slightly later could be the better value because Diggs did better towards the end of the season. Kirk was targeting Diggs a lot more, and I think that with 2 years under the belt, Kirk is going to be, well, 2 years under the belt on that same team. Kirk Cousins is obviously going to be better in my opinion, and I like Stefon Diggs here. So after we went Stefon Diggs, Josh Jacob was selected, followed by Derrick Henry, Kenny Galladay, Devontae Freeman, Brandon Cooks, David Montgomery, Mark Ingram, Chris Godwin, Robert Woods, Julian Edelman. So at this moment, like I said, we are going to go with a running back. Now, the running back that I like to target, David Montgomery, is gone. He scored in his first preseason game. He's looking great. A lot of people, he's rising up in the draft boards. He may end up going in like the 3rd round by the time draft season closes. I would be slightly worried picking him there, but I still think he's going to be a great running back, solid RB2 in my opinion. And I think that his usage is going to be high like I believed it would be, and I don't even think it'll take 3 games to get there. So, at this pick, the best running back available is not, it's either James White or Chris Carson. I prefer Chris Carson because Chris Carson is going to be running the ball heavily, heavily, heavily. The Seahawks run the ball a lot. They are the most run-heavy offense in the league. Doug Peterson loves pounding that fucking rock, and I think that Chris Carson will stay as the running back 1 for a bit, or probably the whole season if he doesn't get injured, because Penny is obviously doing great in practice. Penny's being able to catch passes, but at the same time, Chris Carson, they know, is solidified as the running back 1 right now, and even if he was to lose his job, it'd probably be a 50-50 split or a 60-40 split, and Chris Carson will still eat, and in the 5th round, that's great value on a team that runs the ball so heavily. So after Chris Carson, AJ Green went, followed by Cooper Kupp, Jarvis Landry, Phillip Lindsay, Calvin Ridley, James White, Tyler Boyd, Tyler Lockett. So, now we're going to go with another wide receiver. Actually, I kind of want to get more running backs here. And typically, I don't go with this player, but I want to talk about him. Now, that's Sony Michel. Now, I don't typically go with Sony Michel in fantasy football. But if he's my 4th running back, he's the 2nd flex. He's a guy that I feel confident with because I don't necessarily like him due to his injury risk. He's had these injuries previously. He's dealing with injury coming into camp, all this shit. But even with that, if he's in the game and actually playing, I think he's going to be a solid running back just like he was last year. And for that reason, he's worth the 6th-round price when I have 4 running backs. Now, if I only had 1 running back, then obviously my opinion would change. So after we picked Sony Michel, Deshaun Watson went, followed by Tariq Cohen, Aaron Rodgers, O.J. Howard, D.J. Moore, Andrew Luck, Alshon Jeffrey, Hunter Henry, Evan Ingram, Kenyon Drake. So 1, 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks already off the board, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tight ends. So these quarterbacks, Watson, Rodgers, Luck, typically going to go more up here around the 4th round in your at-home league, or the 3rd round, potentially, depending how many people take quarterbacks. Now, if you're in a league, you can go back and check. If you have been in a league for a while, check the league history for the draft, and you can see where people take quarterbacks. Do they go early? Do they typically wait? And you can figure that out based on that. And then you can figure out when the quarterback value will truly be in your draft. The tight ends do typically go pretty early. The big 3 guys go early, and then the O.J. Howard, Evan Ingram, Hunter Henry, guys like that do typically go around the 5th to 7th round range in a 10-team league. Sorry about that. I did not want you to hear me cough, but now we have a pick, and we're going to go with the quarterback value is still pretty good here, but I'd rather just wait 1 more round and go with a wide receiver. Now, this guy is going to be riding the pine or our flex, depending on how good Sony Michel is. So we're going to go with Dante Pettis here. Dante Pettis is looking to really, a lot of people are talking about, a lot of experts are talking about, and I believe in them because I think that Dante Pettis is going to be the wide receiver one on the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to be better with Jimmy Garoppolo than last year with Nick Mullins. And I think that Dante Pettis is really going to be able to figure out the offense. Last year, he said he was pretty confused in the offense. This, that, the other thing, he wasn't really figuring out. If they'd call a play, he'd be like, oh shit, which route do I have to run? And he's fucking sitting there trying to figure it out with his thumb up his ass, trying to figure it out. But now he knows that. He's got the playbook up. He's got it all up in his brain, and he's going to be pretty good this year. And I like Dante Pettis back here in the draft. After we went Dante Pettis, Mike Williams came off the board, followed by Lamar Miller, Darius Geis, Tevin Coleman, Rashad Penny, Baker Mayfield, Matty Ice, Austin Eckler, and now it's our pick. So let me talk about someone real quick. Lamar Miller, now I still think he's kind of safe, but his safety went from a 10-point safety to like an 8-point safety. He may be getting 8, 9 points a game because Duke Johnson, I believe, is definitely going to eat into his production, and I'm just pretty much trying to stay away from Lamar Miller unless he's like my 5th running back or something. I'm just trying to add depth with a guy who I think could be pretty safe. So I'm going to go with another. We're actually going to go quarterback here. No, we're not. We're going to wait on quarterback because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams already own a quarterback, and I don't really want Breeze at this pick. It's not a 2-quarterback league. So let's see the running. Let's look at the tight end position actually. I'm going to go with the tight end here because I really like Jared Cook. I'm starting to really warm up on him because I think that the Saints are going to use him heavily. Not heavily, but he'll be out there a lot. I think Breeze likes to target the tight end, and Jared Cook is a good tight end. Now, a lot of people will tell you, oh, Mr. Drew Brees hasn't been targeting the tight end as recently because he doesn't like the tight end anymore. That's obviously just stupid because he didn't have any good tight ends since Jimmy Graham, and Jared Cook's a pretty good tight end, so I believe he can get it done there on New Orleans. And I think that Drew Brees is going to target him a lot. He'll probably be a big target there in the red zone. So after when Jared Cook, Will Fuller went, followed by Drew Brees, Robbie Anderson, Carson Wentz, Allen Robinson, Christian Kirk, Larry Fitz, Miles Sanders, Darrell Henderson, Latavius Murray. So now it is our pick. Now, typically we would just go and gain some more running back depth here, but we're just going to go with a quarterback because I think he'll come off the board if we don't pick him here. And that is Mr. Kyler Murray. Now, if you're not a fan of going with someone with super high upside, then don't draft Kyler Murray. Go with someone who's safer, like Jared Goff. But I want to ride the fucking hype train on Kyler Murray. He played pretty good in his first preseason game. Completed a bunch of passes, looked pretty good, looked extra short. I don't even know if that guy's actually 5'9" like they say he is. He looks like he could be super fucking short, but that's perfectly fine because he played well as a super short quarterback. He is able to move out of the pocket. He's able to run the ball. And as you know, in fantasy football, if you're able to run the ball as a quarterback, it is so advantageous to your team. You only have to run 10 yards to get 1 point, whereas you'd have to throw 25 yards as a quarterback to get 1 point. So these guys that are running the ball are getting a lot of extra points. He's able to move, scramble out of the pocket, and he's going to be pretty good, I believe, in the NFL. So I like Kyler Murray here. After we selected the Heisman, Kyler Murray, Vance McDonald went, followed by Sammy Watkins, Jordan Howard, Geronimo Allison, Eric Ebron, Marvin Jones, Damian Harris, Russell Wilson. So now it's our pick, and we're gonna get one more wide receiver, and then load up on some more running back depth. So we're gonna go with the best wide receiver available, who, in my opinion, is probably MVS. But we're gonna go with, since we already have Devontae Adams, I don't necessarily want to do a Devontae Adams MVS stack. Obviously, that could work in certain weeks, but I would much rather just diversify to a different team with a guy who I also view as super high upside, and that is D.D. Westbrook, the slot wide receiver for Nick Foles on the Jacksonville Jaguars. As you know or may know, Nick Foles loves targeting the slot. He's gonna target D.D. Westbrook heavily, in my opinion. I think D.D. Westbrook is a great wide receiver. He showed off last year some good talent with Blake Bortles, and he's looking to expand upon that talent this year with the Jaguars. And he's going to be pretty fucking good late here. And I think if Nick Foles and him can develop a solid connection, he's going to be really great for fantasy football. A 10th round pick that could be a potential wide receiver 3 in fantasy football, or a guy you're starting on your flex a lot because of that upside, especially in great matchups for the Jaguars. I love it. After we went D.D. Westbrook, David Njoku went, followed by Kareem, the kicker, Hunt, LaShawn McCoy, Sterling Shepard, N'Keal Harry, Cam Newton, MVS, Ronald Jones, Chicago Bears, Corey fucking Trash Davis. I can't stand Corey Davis now. A lot of people, they'll tell you, oh man, like you can't just hate the player. You can't, you just hate their ADP, you know? No, I fucking hate the player. I can't stand Corey Davis. Let me tell you something about fucking Corey Davis. He gets all the opportunity to be a great wide receiver. You know what he does? He takes it and he fucking flushes that shit down the toilet because he can't produce. He's never been able to. He never will be able to. I don't understand why people fucking pick him. I picked him in one mock draft because I said fuck it with my last pick to hope that maybe my thoughts about how mad I am about how fucking terrible Corey Davis is will completely change, and maybe he'll just be good because I fucking jinxed him or something. And also the Bears defense. Don't pick a fucking defense this early. You can't be doing that. You want to just wait till the last round to pick a defense or the second to last round. It's that easy. So this is a five-man bench league, or a five bench league. Typically, it's normally 6 or 7. I'm used to deeper benches, but that's fine. So we're just gonna get some more running back depth here. We already got some solid wide receivers, and we're just gonna get that depth. Now, if you are a preseason fan and you follow the Twitter, you know all about the Royce Freeman train. That motherfucker ran a touchdown in the preseason, and I think he's gonna be great. Now, I believe that the coach has came out and said it's going to be a 50-50 split between Royce Freeman and Philip Lindsay. Last year, Philip Lindsay took that shit bareback and absolutely fucked the Denver running backs. I'm so sorry, guys. That was a terrible analogy, but he took the running back core and just said, get the fuck out of here, Royce Freeman. Get the fuck out of here. I'm Philip Lindsay, and I'm going to take it and go. But I think Royce Freeman's going to be given more of a chance this year. It's going to be a 50-50 split. I think Royce Freeman will truly emerge as the better running back on the backfield because I don't think Philip Lindsay is really all that good. He's a great story. He was a great waiver wire pickup. Probably won you some leagues, won you some definite great weeks. But I don't really believe in him again this year. Coming off the injury, I don't know if he'll be able to do it. And I think Royce Freeman will be given a lot more opportunities, so it will be harder for Philip Lindsay to really stay as the one when I think Royce Freeman is the better talent. So after we went Royce Freeman, Curtis Samuel went, followed by Jalen Samuel, Jared Goff, LA Rams, Cortland Sutton, Kalen Ballage, Emmanuel Sanders, LA Chargers. Now this is a short bench, so you definitely can't be drafting a backup quarterback, but it's a 10-team league, so you're not doing that anyways, or you shouldn't be doing that anyways. So we currently have 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, 5 running backs, and we got 4 receivers, so we're just going to build some more running back depth here. We're going to go with a pick that is going to end up about right here come draft season. Now, if you are someone who doesn't believe Melvin Gordon will come back for 8 weeks, he's a must draft, and that's Justin Jackson. He's going super late, and if Melvin Gordon is out for 8 games, doesn't sign, Justin Jackson's going to have solid RB 2 weeks as the backup for he's going to go with Eckler, the two-headed backfield, Eckler, Justin Jackson. Justin Jackson was able to do it last year when Melvin Gordon was injured, and I think he can do it this year if Melvin Gordon gets traded, even better. But if Melvin Gordon doesn't play for 8 games, that's perfectly fine with me because I can start Justin Jackson in the flex for 8 games, especially in good matchups when I already have great running backs. So after we go Justin Jackson, Kiki, Do You Love Me has been selected. Kiki, Mr. Injury, that motherfucker got hurt in the preseason. Don't draft him. I used to love drafting him. Now, can't be drafting him. His injury looked bad news bears. Now, I read that it may not have been as bad as I thought it was, but if he's out like 5, 6 games, I think he may be out all season. You just can't draft him back here. After Kiki Cootie went, Famous Jameis went, followed by Deshaun Jackson, DK Metcalf, Austin Hooper, Jerick McKinnon, Jags defense, Dante Moncrief, Golden Tate, TJ Hawkinson. Like I said, you don't need to draft a backup quarterback or a backup tight end. So we'll just go with one more running back because you don't need that many wide receivers. We already have 4 solid wide receivers. So we're just going to build more running back depth and go with Mr. Matt Breida, running back 49ers, the guy who I believe will end up being the running back 1 on that team. What's his name is on the pup, the guy ahead of him. His name is fucking escaping me, and it's actually pissing me off. Jerick McKinnon, I think. It might not be McKinnon. One of the running backs ahead of him is on the pup, not being able to practice, physically unable to practice. Matt Breida has showed off in camp that he is, maybe we can read it here, versatile. He's versatile. He's able to run the ball. He's able to catch passes. He's all over the fucking place. The coaches love it, and us as fantasy owners love it because Matt Breida is going to be great this season. After we selected Matt Breida, Dante Foreman went followed by Lamar Jackson, Devin Funchess, AP, Justin Tucker, Minnesota Vikings, Cleveland Browns, Greg Zerline, and now it's our pick. So the way we're going to pick a defense here is I'm going to explain it to you right now. You're going to go on Google, type in NFL schedule week 1. Now you're going to find a defense that's playing against a shitty offense and then ride that train of that defense. So the Cowboys are playing the Giants week 1, so that's why we're drafting the Cowboys. They also have a good matchup week 2. The team is escaping me, but that's fine. We're going to go with the Cowboys. After we selected the Cowboys, Baltimore Ravens went followed by Harrison Bucker, Houston Texans, Will Lutz, New England Patriots, Stephen Gostkowski, Big Ben Roethlisberger, Kyle Forbairn, James Washington, Jake Elliott, and now it's our pick. So we're going to pick the best kicker available, Robbie Gould, and not even worry about it. So after we went Robbie Gould, Philip Rivers went followed by Matt Prater, Adam Vinatieri, and Peyton Barber. So our finishing lineup is Kyler Murray, Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, Devontae Adams, Stefan Diggs, Jared Cook, Chris Carson, Sony Michel, Gould, and the Cowboys. And our bench is Dante Pettis, D.D. Westbrook, Royce Freeman, Justin Jackson, and Matt Breida. So thank you guys all for watching the video. If you did end up enjoying, please go down below and click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And while you're down there, click that like button as well. It really helps send the videos out to other people, help spread the love for my channel so that other people can watch the videos just like you yourself who still watch the video right now. And I hope you guys have a great goddamn day. I love all you motherfuckers. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with some more videos. Goodbye, guys.